Solo queue is one of the hardest ways to play Siege. You always get bad teammates, lose rounds at no fault of your own, and feel like you need to carry every game to win. Sadly, you can't get guaranteed better teammates, so instead, I'm going to show you how to do so well in solo queue, you will win despite your bad teammates. Everything from how to make insane plays that win rounds, what the best operators to play in solo queue are, mindset changes, and even ways you can control the flow of rounds. After this video, you will absolutely rank up fast in solo queue. If this video helps you, leave a like and let's get started. Now, a very important thing you need to do in solo queue is try and get clips. Even if you're not a YouTuber, let me explain what I mean. This clip farming technique I actually got from Athena, but this works on any map in any situation. You just got to figure out exactly what you want to do. So let's say your teammates are currently getting the wall open. Now, I know that might be too much for some teammates in solo queue, but let's just pretend. At the beginning of the round, right, when you're coming up onto this roof over here, if you spawn over there, shoot out this window. Now, whenever your teammates end up blowing the wall open, if you can time it perfectly with the explosion, you can jump in and catch everyone inside off guard. They won't hear you vault from the window because of the explosion sound. The reason you need to go for plays like this is because the times where it works, you guarantee a kill for your team. Now, a huge aspect of winning in solo queue is taking gaps. What that means is you want to find a gap in their defense. For example, if I drone this and I see that this is castled off, but they have no footholds in gym, immediately I want to drop here, break open this castle, and take this space, right? I want to take this gap. There's a gap in their defense. Let's say there's just a rotate. You blow open this castle and you jump in here. If there's a rotate here, instantly, they are not expecting you to just hop in the site. If there's nobody watching this and you see that on a drone, jump inside and kill everyone. Something that will win you a ton of rounds in solo queue is just taking space after every kill you get. So for example, if we're on Chalet, they're top floor and they're holding library side. If I break open this window here and maybe I see a zombie here and I end up getting this kill, I need to immediately take this space. I am then trying to find the next enemy who is trying to hold library. If you take that space quickly enough, it will catch enemies who were expecting a zombie to be right here holding the objective. Before they even know that she's dead, you can push in and you can get all the kills because they were still expecting them to be holding that. Especially if you kill her here, maybe they start looking over here to see you run through this door and then you appear out over here. This gets you a ton of free kills. It is actually ridiculous. A very important aspect of doing well in solo queue is not actually trying to win. If that sounds a little weird, let me explain. You are going to get some god-awful teammates. You are going to guaranteed lose about 20% of your games because of that. But you're also going to get some banger teammates and you're probably going to win guaranteed about 20% of your games based off of that. That's 40% right there, predetermined. Now, the remaining 60% of games, those are the games that you can really control. Those 60% of games are the games where if you frag out, you will win. If you plant the bomb, you will win. If you do all of the important things, you will win. But you cannot get tilted if you lose because you're not always going to be able to carry the team. It is very important when you're solo queuing to never tilt, never get upset, and just go next. Now, in solo queue, it is very important to understand the flow of maps and use that to cut off the defenders. For example, if they're up in the master bedroom, they are probably going to be holding library side, meaning this window here is a perfect window to cut them off. If I break open this window, no one can rotate back to site, especially if I'm playing something like Glaz and I smoke myself off here. If they try to run back to site from library, this is a free kill. All I have to do is just tap him a couple times and he can't get back to the site. Cutting off roamers like this and understanding the flow of maps where they're first going to hold library and then they're going to rotate back to site. Understanding that flow will allow you to get a ton of kills and completely cut off all of the roamers. You need to start saving your drones in Siege, especially if you play solo queue. At the beginning of every round, just drive your drone into spawn and pick it up. You really don't need to find the objective. I'm sure your teammates will end up doing that for you. But if you get your drone shot in prep phase, let's say you are droning the site and all of a sudden there's a guy just kind of standing there and he shoots your drone. If he shoots your drone, now you have way less info. You only have one drone left and you need to to be very careful with it. If Tachanka happens to see this drone, you are completely out of information. And the important thing is, since especially in solo queue, your teammates have no idea what they're doing, and they're probably not going to come to you at all, information, especially through your own drones, is one of the most important things that will end up winning you rounds and getting you kills. Now, these are the best defenders that you can run in solo queue. We're gonna go over my top 5. The important aspects of these operators is they need to be self-sustaining, which will completely knock out operators like Tubrau, since you need to do it in conjunction with something like Cade or Bandit with a teammate. It also needs to have high kill potential, because if you're not getting kills in solo queue, you're probably going to lose. That will remove operators like Echo, which are mainly support players. So then who is a good defender? Well, my top 5 are as follows. 1 is Azami. Azami is amazing because she is fully self-sustaining and can cut off entire areas of the map. For example, with this Kiba barrier in Library, if you reinforce right here and then maybe open up a hole right here, then now you are protected from this window. If you want to get into Library, you can peek out the left side of this, the right side of here, or even the right side of the reinforcement. And after that, you could even run away. If you place in a zombie barrier here, then there's not even a lot of time that they can shoot you contesting this window. Azami, even with just those 2 Kiba barriers, opens up so many opportunities for you to frag out on the roam and hold down areas of the map. Number 2 is Lesion. Now, Lesion is amazing because you can also hold down massive areas of map control, but slightly differently. The way Lesion holds it is he can place his Lesion mines on choke points. For example, these window hop-ins here, maybe one on these stairs right here. What this allows him to do is always know where the enemies are coming from, so he can focus on those specific points. So the only place that I actually have to look out for is right here on K9. Now, if you get enough Lesion mines, you can also place one on K9 and place one on Fireplace stairs. So now if I'm playing top Fireplace and I hear someone shoot the Lesion mine on Fireplace stairs, then all of a sudden I know that they are coming from this direction and I can prepare to take this gunfight. Number 3 is Fenrir. Now, Fenrir is very similar to Lesion, but he is a little bit different in how he actually goes about that. He can also cut off massive areas of the map. So if I activate a Fenrir right here, then whenever they come down, they get blinded. So this allows me to have the same effect as Lesion, where I can know where they are pushing from. Now, the downside is you can only have 2 activated at a time. I cannot activate this third one, I can only pick it up, which means for things like Library, it's potentially a little bit worse because you can't watch nearly as many spots. But somewhere like Basement, it is incredible because you can have blue cut off and you can have main stairs cut off, meaning there is no way that they can push you from main stairs without you knowing ahead of time. Then you could place an extra one maybe right inside here for the plant, and this way they will be blind when they plant, allowing you to swing them more easily. Number 4 is Scopos. Now, Scopos is very good for solo roaming because if I'm up here and I'm roaming, maybe they drone me out and then they push in this door here. Whenever I see Ash, I don't actually have to contest. I can fall off into bathroom and then I can switch over to this one here and they won't know that I have left. They might hear it, but they still have to re-drone it to check. Now, if we are playing Basement, there's a good chance they won't even check the 3rd floor. So now that I switch back and I'm playing on site and they see me on site, they won't be worried about getting flanked from the 3rd floor. Then late round, I can switch back to my other one and I can flank them without them even knowing that there is danger. This is huge because all of a sudden you aren't getting constantly droned at by enemies. They might destroy your clone, but you're still alive and already wasted a ton of time. And finally, number 5 is Mute, because he is the most versatile operator in the entire game. You probably hear people glazing Mute a lot, but it is justified. Mute can set up the entire site. Anything that you need in sight, Mute can do because he can use the shotgun. Since he has the SMG-11 in his back pocket, which is good at close, medium, and even sometimes long ranges. Because of how high the fire rate is, if you shoot bullets in their general direction, they're probably going to die. Not only that, but he also has wall denial. Now, it's fairly shitty wall denial, but it is multi-purpose. If you place this jammer, it makes it a lot harder for them to drone. If you place it on the wall, now they have an extra thing that they need to clear out. It also counters Deimos and Dokkaebi, and all you have to do is stand and in a Mute Jammer. All in all, this makes Mute one of the best fraggers in the game, who also has a ridiculous amount of utility, so you won't have to rely on your teammates at all to set up the site and get a ton of kills. Now, what about the best attackers? They need to have the same requirements that we had before. So based on that, the best attackers are as follows. One of my absolute favorites is Maverick. Maverick is an amazing solo queue operator because you can get walls open completely solo even if there is wall denial on the walls. All you have to do is Maverick trick. So if you don't know, this is how to Maverick trick. Just look at the very top of the wall right at this little star here. You got to touch the actual top of the wall. It can't be like here. It needs to be at the top of the wall. Just go over to the right until about right there. Doesn't need to be exact. Then go to this star here and do the exact same thing. Whenever you make it to right there, in one canister usually, it will make the wall soft. Guaranteeing that your team doesn't need to coordinate to get the wall open will win you a ridiculous amount of rounds, since solo queue teammates seem to never be able to get the wall open. Now, a quick extra tip, if you just want to farm some kills and Bandit is bandit tricking, all you gotta do is just place a claymore in front of the wall like this. Then stand behind the claymore, because the claymore explosion goes directly forward, so if you're standing behind it, you actually won't die. Then, when you know Bandit is tricking the wall, just start mavericking the wall right at the claymore lasers, and then right when it exposes Bandit to the actual lasers of the claymore, it will explode and kill him. Another incredible solo queue attacker is Nomad. Now, Nomad is one of the best solo queue operators because not only can she watch the flank for you, where no matter what, they'll either have to shoot this Nomad or they'll get hit by it, giving you a free kill, but there's also some crazy tech with Nomad that I don't see anybody ever using. So there's someone behind this electric box here. If I decide that I want to push and kill this guy, all I have to do is throw a flashbang behind the electrical box and then shoot a Nomad behind it as well. It will deafen him, causing him not to hear the Nomad. He'll get hit by it, and instantly he's just on the ground for me to kill. This lets Nomad be an incredible entry frag operator as well as a great flank watch for your team. All of these allow Nomad to be one of the best solo queue operators in the game because of how self-sufficient she is. Next, you have to mention him, but it is Blackbeard. Now, the reason Blackbeard is such a good solo queue operator is as follows. One, he can instantly jump through barricades. This allows you to catch a ton of enemies completely off guard. He is also a soft breacher. If you walk up to a wall and you click middle mouse on PC, I don't know what it is on console, then you just explode through the wall. He's also just a shield operator, which is already overpowered as is. He also has a primary gun, but you can't shoot his body, meaning they have to be accurate with headshots to even kill you if you are ADS. And finally, he has grenades. So if Legion is sitting here in bathroom and I throw grenades at him, he's trapped in there. He can't do anything. I run up to him, I melee him. There is nothing the enemy can do in a 1v1 unless I screw up, making Blackbeard one of the best solo queue operators in the game because of how many kills and how much space you can take as a solo player. Now, of course, the fourth is going to be Ashe, the all-time best entry fragger. Now, Ashe is amazing for solo queue, and I'm sure you know why. She is just one of the best entry fraggers in the entire game. You can just run in and frag out. You have soft breach to help you open up walls. You can also use it to clear out defender utility, whether it be shields or a zombie barriers. And if they are playing on a site which is below a soft floor, you also have a ton of breaching charges to make vert and kill the enemies. She is a 3-speed. She has an ACOG, a great gun. Ashe is just an amazing solo queue operator, which allows you to get a ton of kills, take a ton of space, and overall, just an amazing pick, even if you're not playing solo queue. And finally, this will be a surprise to, I'm sure, no one, but it is Deimos. Now, Deimos is insane in solo queue because you can completely clear roamers by yourself. Usually you want to push with teammates, but let's say Mute is roaming on the top floor when they're basement. I take out my pistol, I track him, and now I know exactly where he is and can hunt him down. Now, he knows where I am as well, but he doesn't have as up-to-date information. I can pre-fire very, very easily because I always have an exact mark on where he is. I can also shoot him through walls really easily, especially since the pistol has a ton of destruction. Now, after you've cleared the roamers, you have 3 charges, meaning you can also hunt site players. By the way, he can also destroy hatches with his pistol. But if they're on site, let's say I'm in a 1v1 and I need to get the bomb down. If I track Mute here, this is a guaranteed win for me. I know exactly where he is now, and I can use that information to get the bomb down. If I see that he's moving to an area that could potentially shoot me, I just take out my pistol and fry him. Now, in a similar vein to the last tip is when should you play aggressive versus passive? You want to play aggressive if you have a man disadvantage. If you are a man down, right? Like let's say we have 2 people and they have 3 people. You want to play aggressive to try to get an extra kill and even that man count, because at that point you have a disadvantage. Now, if you have more, let's say the defenders have 3 and they have 2, then you should play passive because they have a disadvantage and you should wait for them to push into you. Now, what if you have an even man count? If you have an even man count, the defenders always have an advantage unless the bomb is down, because that puts the time pressure on the attackers. And other than that, whoever has less people should be the team playing aggressive. Now, an important aspect of solo queue on defense is wasting time. So let's say we're on border and I'm playing in CCTV. My goal here is not to get as many kills as possible. The goal here is to let the enemies know that I'm here, have them push me for let's say 30 seconds, and then instead of actually fighting to the death here, I'll give them the space after that 30 seconds. This means without losing any man count, we have just burned an extra 30 seconds from their push, giving us the advantage because if the time runs out, we win. You do not want to die doing this. The goal is keep an even man count or a man advantage while burning time. The attackers, their main goal is to take space, get kills, and get the bomb down. So anything you can do to prevent this is a W. You need to start taking op bans seriously, especially if you're in solo queue. Now, I know your teammates might be dumb and ban the wrong operator, but if you keep this in mind, it will help you a ton. Don't just ban the operator that you see in the final kill cam. That is a complete waste of your time. Also, don't just guaranteed ban Ace every single round or Fenrir every single round. You want to ban operators that will actually help the other team get the win. For example, if they are a slow methodical team, then you can ban hard breachers to stop them from getting the wall open. So to sum it up, don't just ban whatever operator you saw in the kill cam or the default operators that everybody typically bans. Ban the operators that are actually going to affect this team. So ban an operator that will actually affect the other team and get you a win. An extremely important thing you need to keep in mind while solo queuing is having a plan for every single round on attack or defense. For example, you should come up with what your roaming strategy is going to be. If you're going to hold CCTV, figure out what your escape routes are going to be, right? Maybe open up this hatch here and open up a rotate here. So that way you have multiple ways out of CCTV. So that way, whenever they are pushing you, if they end up being in this hallway over here, then now you can drop the hatch. Or if you know that they're watching through this window below the hatch, you don't want to drop this hatch because you'll die. So instead, you have a different escape route. Attack is very similar. If you know that there's a roamer in CCTV, are you going to push him or are you going to push office? What is going to be your plan for the round? What are your goals? Just having a plan, any plan, and you can change it halfway through the round if the other team is doing something unexpected. Just having any plan will make a huge difference.